Did you all check your marching orders? Check them? You all got them at baptism. Okay? Very important. Because we are all in an army that is invisible. Right? It's the battle of good and evil. And we are the good guys. Right? And sometimes we are called to do things that we wonder, how in the world am I going to do that? As a matter of fact, I said that about 8 years ago. 8 years ago, when I was getting ready to leave for seminary. I said, Lord, you have quite a sense of humor. Huh? You want me at my age to go write a term paper? They don't even call it footnotes anymore. I think they call it parentheticals or something like that. Whatever. Anyways. And so, I started to get all my stuff to get rid of it. And I remember the day the trailer pulled up, one of those open trailers. And as everything was being loaded, freedom. Bye. Didn't miss the stuff at all. I mean, it was furniture and, things like that. But what am I going to save that for? I'm going to be in rectories for the rest of my life. My dorm room at the seminary was 8 by 12. My bed was at one side, your desk was on the other. We had a sink and we shared a bathroom. We called the guy on the other side our flush mate. True story. So anyways, as the stuff went off, I just felt so freed, so wonderfully detached. And we heard about Amos today, didn't we? God calls this guy who prunes trees for a living. They were fig trees, sycamore fig, it's called. And that's what he does. And then God tells him, go talk to this king. That's like one of us or somebody who's in the garden department at Home Depot who gets a message from God and says, go to Washington, D.C. and tell them that abortion is not right to life is not a civil right, it's a human right. Big difference between civil right and human right. Civil rights come from the law, human right comes from God. So who would do that? Can you imagine going to your manager? Well, listen, God gave me a message. I need to go away for about 2 weeks. And God told me to do this. They'd probably get fired on the spot. Can you imagine? But my point is that God calls us to do things that are bold. Okay? And He gives us the grace to do what is bold. And sometimes we have to detach because we're not of this world. Remember, we're pilgrims passing through this world. And so we should not get attached to material things because all those things are distractions to us. They hinder our focusing on what we're here for. And we have to constantly remind ourselves, why are we here? Why are we here? Are we here just to work this job and to make money and save up for retirement and da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Pretty mundane stuff. Because when we die, it doesn't mean a darn thing. So remember, we must put more of our time into what is eternal rather than in what is temporal and passing and fleeting. And life is fleeting. Life is fleeting. We should never get too comfortable. That's where the danger is. We get comfortable thinking we have time. I can do this later. No, God told Amos, go. Go. Get moving. There's an immediacy in the call. Right? So once I knew I was going to seminary, boom, things had to happen. Got to go. Follow these orders. God's given this to me. And there were still fires in my life. I'm like, Lord, what's going to happen with all this stuff? Not material stuff, all these situations. And I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to go. And I'm going to leave these up to you. And you know what? He took care of every single one. He's a faithful God. And when you obey him, he will take care of you. Do his will. All right? Detach, be bold, be convicted about what you've been given to do in life. And it's only your mission. Each of you has a mission. Look for that mission. Pray for God to show you what that mission is. Be decisive, be determined, be direct, and go and do what Lord is calling you to do. And don't worry about how it's going to happen. Look at these apostles in the gospel. Go ahead, you get some sandals and a walking stick, one tunic. You know what the tunic is, like that thing that goes over, it may or may not have sleeves, and it goes down to your knees. That's it. Can you imagine, would any of us really do that? Take off, no money, no credit card, no debit card, and we just take off. But the point is trying to say is detach from everything. Trust in me. And that's a leap of faith. And we are people of faith. You know, as we heard from St. Paul in the second reading, when God created us at the very beginning, he already had in his mind what our destiny is to be. And the destiny is holiness, as Stephen so wonderfully shared in the reflection before Mass. Holiness. Your holiness is part of your mission, right? So whether you're a husband or a wife, whatever your role is, your vocation, not your occupation, your vocation is your path to holiness. Single life too. We all have a mission. We all must focus on that mission. We all must be determined, deliberate, and constantly, day after day after day, working towards that mission. What else do we hear? You're going to run into those people who don't want to hear anything about religion. Don't talk to me about faith. I don't want to hear it. Right? Our job is to evangelize. It is to spread the word of God with your mouth, with your actions, to be a witness to Christ in the world. But some people will take offense to that. They took offense to Jesus. They took offense to his apostles. Most of them were martyred. Right? So, what does he say to do? Put your right foot in, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake the dust off your feet. Means disconnect. Disconnect. Don't waste your energy on them. Harsh reality, isn't it? You can pray for them, of course. Don't stop praying for them. Pray that their heart opens, that they lose that hardness of heart, and stop trying to understand with the mind. Allow the heart to understand. That's really where God resides, in the heart. And so today we are going to come forward. We're going to receive the Eucharist. We have the liturgy of the Word, and we're about to enter the liturgy of the Eucharist. The two go together, the Word and the Eucharist. So what happens in that Eucharist is Jesus' passion, death, resurrection, and ascension. In that dying, we are also called in our mission to die to ourselves, to die to the inertia, the resistance, to the dislikes of what we have to do. Just do it. We have to do it. If we say we love God, then show God that you love him through obedience, but not a grudging obedience. Okay, I'll do it. You know, you got to realize that the mission he gives you is for your benefit, for my benefit. God doesn't need us. But through that mission, we come to know ourselves. We grow in that holiness. We grow more in the image and likeness of Christ. And we start to experience His joy and His peace, no matter what's going on in our lives. But trust in the Lord always. Right? Because we've always heard, right? The Lord never calls you anywhere where He doesn't give you the grace to sustain you. So if any of you you know in your heart what He's calling you to do and you're still resisting, stop it, right? Stop it and trust God. I'll never forget the story where this guy, I guess he falls off a cliff at night. And fortunately, as he's coming down, he was able to grab onto a branch. And the Lord's telling him, let go, I got you. Trust me, let go. And the guy holds on, won't let go. A couple hours go by, let go. You're fine. Guys, hold on, not letting go. Anyways, the sun starts to come up. He's 2 feet from the ground. Trust in the Lord. Okay?